this heat wave last year in London alone, in the 2 days it lasted, killed more than 2,000 people.
A meeting of minds merging architecture, climate change, science and building construction. Bau Fritz and the Grantham Institute present Building in a Changing Climate. Our experts Dagmar Fritz Kramer, Oliver Rehm and Dr. Otto explain how our climate is changing and how the construction industry must adapt to address environmental challenges.
So we are living in the world of loss and damage. Climate change is a fact of the present day. It's not something that will happen somewhere else in the future, but it's happening today everywhere around the world. And the impacts of climate change primarily manifest through the changing intensity and likelihood of extreme weather events. We are seeing this in Europe, particularly through a very, very strong increase in heat waves. So this year, we have had heat waves in Southern Europe that were so hot it would have been impossible to reach temperatures like that without climate change. Similarly, last year in London, for the first time ever, 40 degrees Celsius were reached. That also would have been basically impossible without human-induced climate change. And heat waves are not only unpleasant, but also the deadliest extreme events that we have in Europe. This heat wave last year in London alone, in the 2 days it lasted, killed more than 2,000 people. Heat waves are called the silent killers because people are not falling dead on the street, but it's usually poorer people that already have pre-existing health conditions who die in their poorly insulated homes. And that is one of the biggest impacts of climate change we have today. And as long as we keep burning fossil fuels, these heat waves will only get more frequent, they get stronger and more intense. So extreme heat is something we absolutely have to learn to live with and not die from. The other big impact that we see from climate change in Europe is heavy precipitation, so heavy rainfall, particularly in the winter. So we see, and of course, sometimes that comes down as rain, most times because temperatures generally are higher, but it also can come down as snowfall, particularly further north in the UK, in Scotland, in Germany, other parts of Northern Europe. Of course, we have lots of snowfall right now when we record this podcast in December in all parts of Germany. So these heavy precipitation is also something that we need to design our cities and houses to be able to withstand. And again, while the change is not quite as strong as for extreme heat, as long as we continue burning fossil fuels, we will see more and more heavy rainfall, and also in coastal areas, because in a warmer climate, we already have rised sea levels. Sea level rise will continue for centuries, even if we stop burning fossil fuels, because it's a very slowly reacting process to the forcing of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So we will have more coastal flooding, more inundation with every storm that comes in from the Atlantic. So these are not things that will happen sometime in the future or when we reach 1.5 degrees, but they are already happening. And with every 1/10 of a degree of warming, they will get worse. So that, I think, are the basic impacts of climate change we see here.